Hello, I am here. I am using my old computer because I am not going to trust that this won't happen today. Oh my gosh. So sorry for those of you that have shown up. The last 2 times I've taught live in 5 weeks, because I was gone for 3, things were not good. So let me try to get my do not disturb on. I forgot on this computer how to do that. There we go. All right. Perfect. Terry, hello. Mary, hello. Yes, this is the chat. Hi, Mary. She's way. Good morning, Mary. Good morning. Awesome. You're going to be live with us. Mary, any questions you have? Anything you want in particular? I was going to focus on hips today and pelvis, if that's something that interests you, which it should be if we have osteoporosis. And if we're aging, because that's important. Hi, Donna. So nice to have you here. Yeah, that's Shizue. She is from Japan. And what I've learned about Japan is that it's very phonetic, the language. So when you see letters, Nicole, hello. All right, all my regulars are here, ladies from Pennsylvania, from Los Angeles, from Michigan. Where's Beth? She's not in here. North Carolina, if she is. All right. Anywhere else? Jean, tell me where, Jean, I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. And that's probably because I haven't been on because this dang thing wasn't working. Jean, where are you from again? I'd like to know. Yes, it happened to everyone, Nicole. So I have a new computer and I don't know what is happening, but I cannot see. It's a black screen for me. So I see that you're here, but then I'm not able to stop the computer lock. So it goes into lock mode. So I'm over there. My eyes are closed. I open my eyes. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's blank. So I come over here. Anyway, I'm on my old computer, which should have 0 problems. Let's see. So that's the deal. Beth, you are here, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, right? Or New Jersey? I think you're Pennsylvania, Nicole. Michigan is Mary. If that's okay that I say where you are, and then a couple of local girls. I'm in Los Angeles, 11 a.m. for me. Jean, Connecticut. Yes. Well, Jean, you didn't miss anything because I was gone for 3 weeks in Scotland on a wonderful adventure, ladies. If you have any desire to go to Scotland or Bali, I host trips. I teach yoga on these trips. We had a really tight bonded group in this last Scotland trip. It was so lovely. The dates for Bali are October 31st to November 9th, 2024. So those dates are going to be on the books, or they are, and that'll be open. So get your chance to, if you want to go to Bali, that would be a great opportunity to come. All right. Perfect. I got it. Okay. All right. Well, here we are. Let's do it. Hips and pelvis. Now on Tuesday, most of you are not local with me. A couple of you are. So Shizue was with me on Tuesday. Donna was with me virtually. I'm not sure if any of the rest of you were. For those of you that do not live in Los Angeles, you could practice with me live on Tuesdays from 11 to 12:15 through Torrance Memorial Medical Center. So you would sign up through the hospital, get a Zoom link, and practice with me on Tuesday. So Tuesday, Thursday, 11 to 12:15 PST. So for my East Coasters, that's what, 2 to 3:15. All right, let's do it. If there's anything you want to ask me before I go over there, because I cannot see from there, can barely see from here without glasses. And if there's anyone new, let me know who you are, where you are. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you like this, thumbs up, please. Share this with whoever you think may be interested. Still a little sore from Tuesday. All right. Yeah. Good sore. Don't we love that good sore? Because what does good sore mean? Good sore means we're doing something. Okay. I need to share something with you all. In my program, Healthy Gut, Healthy Bones, where I run functional labs on ladies, stool lab, mineral lab, I just received an email from someone this morning that went and had her DEXA scan after 1 year. She got it done in a year. She has grabbed the bull by the horns, did a stool lab, did hair mineral labs, did a retest of her hair minerals to see that her absorption had improved. It is crazy. And I want to say that she's in her 60s, maybe close to 70. All of her areas improved. So that means not only did she stop bone loss, she reversed it by building more bone from one DEXA to the other in a year. That is amazing. So yes, you can reverse osteoporosis. Yes, you can reverse bone loss. And that's my platform and that's my mission. And then what we're doing here today is the physical aspects of improving all of the physical aspects of what we have control over. So let's do it. We're going to do a little bit of what we did on Tuesday because it was pretty amazing. Some of the things that we focused on. And so we're going to bring that into practice today. All right. So for today's practice, yoga therapy for stronger hip and stronger pelvis. A lot of attention on this area. And so we look at the neighbor joints when we're focusing on a joint. So if we're focusing on the hip joint, the neighbor joints would be the knees and the low back. Well, the spine is another area. The low back is another area we focus on with osteoporosis. So today we're going to focus on stronger hip stimulation and pelvic bone stimulation. And that's also going to translate up to the neighbor, which is the spine, the lumbar spine, which is what the DEXA scan looks at. So those are the two areas that we get in readings with bone health is hip joint and lumbar spine. So for the practice, please have a block. It would be ideal if you had a block, not very expensive. You can get them on Amazon or local stores near you. And this is a really great prop that'll help you in your practice. A blanket, and if you don't have a block, get 2 blankets or maybe even a towel. And then a blanket is a fantastic prop. It helps to support the knees. It also helps to fill in spaces where you need spaces filled in during the practice. It can make things a little bit more comfortable, manageable, and doable for you. So go ahead and get yourself a blanket. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. This is actually a pretty heavy blanket. And I think the heavier, thicker blankets are better when you're practicing yoga. And then a strap. And if you don't have a strap, get a towel. You could have a hand towel, especially if you're flexible, or you may need a longer towel if you're a little tight in your body. So these are the props we're going to use in the practice today. A chair, a wall. In this space that I'm in, I have this wall, so I definitely use the wall when I'm practicing, and I can push into the wall or use the wall as support. So this becomes a really important part of my practice as well. So if you're able to move near a wall, move your computer, your iPad, however you view this, closer to a wall, do that with enough space for you to move your body and to place your mat down on that wall. So do whatever is appropriate. Go ahead and gather your props. My voice is the one you hear, but the one you listen to is the one inside. It's the part of you that says, yes, I can go this far. Yes, I could stay here this long. Or no, this is a little too long for me. Listen to your own body and demand more. Pull and push on your bones as much as you can safely, bringing your inner intelligence into everything you do today in the practice so you could create the most stimulation, strong stimulation safely. All right, so let's begin. We're going to come down onto the ground. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to begin in an inversion. We're going to begin in a proven, there's studies on this that shows that when we elevate the pelvis above the heart, we increase the volume of blood in the aorta and in the carotid arteries. And there's nervous system stimulators or there's nervous system activity in these areas. So we actually stimulate the relaxation zone of the nervous system, the parasympathetic branch. So it lowers blood pressure and it's beneficial for heart health. The only people that should not lift their pelvis up above their heart and their head are those with unmanaged high blood pressure. Managed high blood pressure is okay, but unmanaged high blood pressure. And I've actually yet to meet anyone with unmanaged blood pressure, because if you did have high blood pressure, you'd be on a medication and it would be managed. And if that's you, then it's okay to elevate your pelvis. I'm going to do this with the block. You could do it with something softer if you need that for your body. You could use a bolster or a rolled up blanket or a towel or a pillow. So whatever it is you need, go ahead and bring that onto your surface. And then bring your body onto your mat, moving side to side. So really feel the buttocks here. And then we're gonna go down with control of our core, making sure that our safe spinal space is maintained from below heart to belly button. So not collapsing in your heart, not pressing down in the space, but staying really nice and controlled. So really zipper up like you're zippering up super tight jeans, zipper, zipper, zipper. Hold on if you need it. For those that have stronger cores, you may be able to go down without holding on with the core muscles. And if you need to plop at the end, go ahead. So we're gonna lift our pelvis up to begin. We're gonna do breath work. We're gonna strengthen the top of the core, which is the diaphragm, which is lining the entire lower ribs. So we're gonna elevate the pelvis. You choose block, bolster, pillow. And before you go up, make sure that whatever you have behind your head is very narrow. So either no blanket or very little blanket. And then before you come up, push your arms into the floor, push your head into the floor, lift your rib cage away, slide the shoulder blades towards each other so that you can have this protection of collapsing the upper spine with the ribs, with the shoulder blades, sorry. Lift your head, tuck your chin towards your chest, and then reach for your prop, walk your feet closer, come onto your tippy toes, lift your pelvis, and put whatever it is underneath your body that you're gonna put. Now you want to be balancing your sacrum, so the middle of your pelvis, so it's not too high on the low back. If you're able to walk your feet back, lift your pelvis, tilt your pelvis so you get the top of your pelvis first, and then you let your body roll towards your sacrum. This will help to correct some of the alignment in your pelvis, and you'll feel it right away too. And then bring your arms out to the side. You could bring them straight outside or bend your elbows. You could bring them higher up for a deeper stretch. Or if you have shoulder issues, you may need to bring them down. So find the appropriate position for you and your body. Lift your head, lengthen your back neck, then push your heart up towards the sky. You may experience some stretching here in the abdominal area, the space between the pelvis and the rib cage. Noticing what you notice here. Try to let the weight be coming to the upper back area above the heart, not straight down with a lot of pressure in the head. So if you push the heart up and bend the upper spine, you'll help to bring that weight to the upper back area, keeping your head and neck safe. And then the legs, keep the knees bent, and then bring the feet with the closed eyes, bring the feet to a position where you start to feel comfort. If you'd like, you can walk your feet away from you, see if that helps, and then let your knees fall in towards each other so you have some support. Or if that's uncomfortable for your hips, for your pelvis, let the knees point straight up towards the sky. Eyes are closed, wiggling the jaw back and forth, side to side. Open the mouth really wide and close. And then let the lips gently touch. Relax your face. Relax the tongue in the lower jaw. Relax the jawbone itself. Feel that relaxation by the ears. Relax the eyes, let them sink deep into the sockets. And then relax the cheeks, the right cheek, let it relax towards the earth. And the left side. And feel that tension leaving your face when you bring in relaxation. And then bring your awareness to breathing right at the nostrils, feeling the coolness of the temperature in the room. And then follow the breath into your body, down the nostrils, into your heart area, into your body. Bring your awareness to the lower ribs. Imagine you have an inner tube around your body. There's an inch space. So every inhale, you expand an inch to press gently into the inner tube. Expand up towards the sky. Feel the stretch inside your body when you do this. You're breathing deep. You're warming up your deep inside, stretching the abdominal area, the rotational muscles, spinal muscles. And then therapeutically, you're actually helping to support digestion. As you inhale, pressing the diaphragm down, compressing liver, pancreas, putting pressure on the kidneys, pressure and movement support for the tubing of your gut, the 30 feet of intestines, to help move the food through the system. Breathe to the left side. This is pancreas, left kidney, and all the organs and digestive tubing on the left side. This is where the lower part of the colon dumps into the rectum to be excreted from your body. So supporting the ending of the food in your body as it comes out in that last part of the colon, the descending colon. Breathe to the left, big and deep. Put pressure on it as if you were massaging your intestines with breath. Bring your awareness now over to the right side, the right waist, the right lower belly, and breathe to the right side, the ascending colon, when food comes into the colon, to then go up, over, and down to be eliminated from your body. Bring your awareness to the back of your lower ribs. Breathe all the way down to the tailbone. Feel the pressure that you create when you breathe deeply and the stretch. And then breathe to the whole belly, deep all the way down. Feel that pressure. One more breath. And then let the breath go back to your body. Feel the weight of your body on that bolster, block, blanket, towels, whatever you have it on. Bring your awareness to your eyes as you gently blink your eyes open. While we're here, also a little bit of pelvic floor. So the pelvic floor is the base of your core. We were just working the top of the core, which is diaphragm. Base of the core is the pelvic floor. So bring your awareness to the back, which is the anal sphincter, where you would stop a bowel movement. See if you could feel that as if you feel like you're trying to stop a bowel movement. That's the back of the pelvic floor. And then bring your awareness to the front, where you would stop the flow of urine, the urethra or the ureter area. Urethra, I believe, is the pelvic floor, is the muscle, ureteral sphincter. So that's the front and the back of the lower part, the front and back part of the pelvic floor. There's also a side and side pelvic floor. So if you imagine that you're drawing up, you're holding onto a strand of pearls in between those two sphincter muscles, right where the perineum is, right in the center of your body. Hold on to a pearl and then draw up, 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 up to your belly button. Feel that deep internal contraction. You could be a strand of blueberries, a strand of pearls, or you can imagine you're zippering up tight jeans, starting at the base. Feel that like you're making a fist, so you feel muscular contraction. A really good one, if it's not triggering for you in any negative way, is to imagine drawing an egg into your body, where you hold on to the egg and then you use your muscles to draw it in and up to your belly button. So that gives me a lot of deep muscular involvement, starting with pelvic floor and then core. And if it's not triggering for me, but it may be for some. So pelvic floor, you could think of zipper, you could think of strand of pearls, you could think of blueberries, you could think of drawing an egg in. So think of drawing in and up, in and up. That's the base of your core, top of the core is a diaphragm. And then bring your awareness to cinching your waist like a corset, tightening your waist, getting narrow in your waist, drawing in, turning your body into an hourglass shape. And that's you doing core activation. All right, bring your knees in, bring your feet into the air. So there is some speculation that raising the feet in the air can actually help to support the veins to minimize varicose veins. Don't know if that's fully studied or not, yet it really makes sense, right? We help to support. What I will say about feet in the air, though, is let's contract the calves and then release, contract and release. That is supportive of cardiovascular health. Second most important muscle in the cardiovascular system are the calves. Number one is the heart. Second is the calves. Bring your feet up, point strongly, feel the strong stretch in the front, and then exhale, reach through the heels. Inhale to point, exhale to flex. Point and flex. Keep your feet about a foot apart here. And then you're going to go in a circular pattern, warming up your ankles for the standing practice, warming up your ankles to keep them mobile and dancing. Switch the other direction for fall and fracture prevention, or to become a better faller, a better stumbler, so you could actually catch yourself and maybe minimize the forces of a fall, which will minimize fractures. Bringing your feet onto the floor. So now we're going to stretch the front of the hip. We're going to come into extension in the hip joint. Pay attention here in your body to what feels safe. So you still have the prop underneath. If you need to modify and take that out, go ahead. Draw the right knee in, hold on behind the hamstring, and take the left leg straight. Stretching that left leg away from you. Reach through that left heel. Feel like you're sliding that left leg away. Stretching the front of the left hip. Push your belly button towards your spine to protect your lumbar spine. Draw the right knee in deeper to intensify the stretch. If it feels appropriate for you, this is beyond the range of motion of this hip, so this is a pretty strong hip flexor and front hip joint stretching move. Push your heart up towards the sky to protect your upper spine. Take one more breath. And then we're going to switch. So bring the left knee in first, and then slowly introduce the stretch into the right leg by lengthening the right leg slowly. Press the right foot into the floor. That may help as well. Then hold on behind the left leg. Draw the left leg into your chest. Feel that stretch that happens in the front of the right leg. Using breath to help soften any tension. So really push that right leg down if that feels appropriate for you. Zipper up your core. Pull your left leg in. Take a few more breaths here. And then bring the right leg in. Put your feet on the floor, both feet on the floor. Take your hands alongside your body. We're going to push the feet into the floor to start to lift your body up, but don't lift it all the way off yet. Feel how there's a lot of tension when you're on that block, especially if you're using a block, it'll feel more intense. So start to push to lift up, but don't let the flesh move away from the block. Just let the tension, and then put your body back down. Push away, lift up again. And then put your body back down. And one more time, push your feet in, lift up, and then take the block out.
bringing your body back down on the ground. Bring your blanket behind your head and bring your knees into your chest, and then rock side to side. So first bring your knees in, spread them, so you're massaging across the back of the pelvis. So we do, if you have a block behind you especially, the other props a little bit, but really the block, you're stretching a lot of the pelvis and really trying to normalize or equalize the pelvis. So if you have any issues in your pelvis, any asymmetry that exists, that's going to be stretching some muscles and then also the ligaments of the pelvis. And then coming into a happy baby, so take your legs wide, hold on behind your hamstrings, and draw your knees deeply into your armpits. If you're able to reach up and hold on to your toes, only if you're able to keep your legs wide. Do the happy baby with your feet if that's part of your practice, or holding on behind the hamstrings is sufficient. And if you pull your knees closer to your armpits, then you're actually going to get more pressure in the low back and more relief in the low back. Feels really great. Happy baby. And then bring your feet onto the ground. Let's come onto our side, and from here, let's push ourselves up away from the floor. We'll come into a warm-up routine for the hips. So to do this, bring your blanket onto your mat, and you'll need your block. So I need to go get my timer because I don't have my clock that tells me how many minutes to hold my postures. So when I practice with a clock on my iPad, and I use this as a way for me to first of all, to keep track of the class timing, but also to notice how long I'm keeping postures. All right, so just wanted to see anything. Oh, Carolyn, hi, I see that you're here. All right, okay. So we're going to come into a warm-up sequence here. You're going to need your block and your blanket. Now, if you have knee issues and you need more padding, put more padding underneath your knees. Let's bring the right foot forward and bring the block on the left side forward. So make sure that your foot is forward of your knee. Do not be too close to your body with your foot. See here, my foot's closer to my knee. Bring your foot forward. And then when you come into this, you may notice there's a little bit of balance, and you may be, it might be precarious for you. So if you'd like, you could walk your right foot over to the right a little bit more, making the base of your stance a little wider, which will make it easier. Or if you want to challenge yourself, keep yourself in hip distance. Bring your hands on top of your leg and bring it close to your body. We're going to inhale to bring our body forward and make sure that the knee does not go over the ankle, doesn't go forward of the ankle. So adjust the front foot accordingly. The inhale is forward, the exhale come back. Inhale to come forward, exhale back. Last one, inhale forward, stay here. Bring your hand on the block and your hand on the thigh to bring yourself forward. My pelvis came forward, my whole torso. I did not just move my body forward. I moved my entire pelvis forward. And that's what stretches the hip flexor on that back leg. Now, if you want to go a little deeper, so this may be appropriate and this may be where you stay, and that's okay. So choose to go deeper if that's appropriate, meaning you bring your pelvis forward more, you maybe walk your foot forward more. And then we're going to come into a little rotation. So you could push down on your block, push down your hand, and then try to turn your heart over that front leg, adding a little bit of rotation. Or you could actually bring your left elbow onto the outside of the right knee and bring your hands together. You want to bring your torso away from your leg. Do not collapse with your torso close to your leg. keeping the spine long, adding some rotation. If you want a strengthener here a little deeper, flip your left toes under. See if you can lift your left knee off the floor. Pretty challenging. It requires a lot of strength in smaller muscles that you may not necessarily be using that often. It's also a lot of glute strength in that front leg and a tremendous amount of hip strength in the back hip. And I know this from my hip replacement. I couldn't do this when I first had my hip replacement. So I know that this requires a lot of strength in the hip joint. Take one more breath. When you come out slowly, you come out safely, bringing yourself all the way up and out. Take a break in between. And then if you do try to bring your leg off and it's a challenge for you, notice that, because that is a very confronting posture for many. A lot of people are surprised when they're not able to bring their knee off. And I couldn't do that in my 30s when I first started the practice. So it is a lot of smaller muscle development in a continuous yoga practice that will help to develop that deep strength in your body. And it's possible, regardless of age. Take your left foot forward. Make sure it's forward, not just a little bit so that when you come forward, your knee comes over. Because that actually will have an effect on negatively on the tendons of the quadricep muscle group. So you want to make sure that you're forward there. And then you bring your hands on top of your thigh, exhale, and then inhale to bring your whole body forward, stretching the front of the hip flexor, exhale back. Push the front heel into the floor to activate the glute to help stabilize your body, to help support balance. One more, bring yourself forward, stay here. When you come here, your hand is on the block, your hand is on the thigh. You push down to get tall in your body, really stretching deeply that back hip, paying attention to how it feels in your body to be doing that. And if you need to back off a little, maybe you come out of that a little and don't put so much tension in that stretch. One more breath. We're going to add rotation, so long in the spine and then rotating the heart over that front leg, or bringing the outside of the right hand on the left leg. Hands are together. This may be where you stay, or you flip the right toes under and lift the right leg off or right knee off if that's appropriate for you. Do what's appropriate for your body. Really push the left heel into the floor to help support that front leg, to help support balance. Take one more breath, and then you come down gently. Unwind your spine, bring yourself out, and then take a break. Pretty challenging warm-up to do a lunge. That's weight bearing, and we're putting a lot of weight in the pelvic area and in the hips to stretch. So close your eyes, catch your breath. Little acceleration of heart rate, especially if you were lifting your knees off. And take one more breath. And then one more thing here before we come down to do some postures. You're going to come up to a standing. Let's focus on bending our hip joint, warming up our hip joint, and learning about keeping the spine safe as we bend. So coming onto your shins, knees are a little wider. The bending happens here in the hips. So imagine you're cracking raw eggs right here. If there was raw eggs here, bringing the lower belly closer to the top thighs. Push the tushy back to let this action happen. And then your heart stays long as you come forward. This is how we should be bending down to get something off the ground, to get ourselves dressed in the morning, to do gardening, with the front spine staying, maintaining that safe spinal space between the heart and the belly. And you're going to feel the glutes. Go slower here. Feel the glutes. They lengthen to lower down. Glutes are getting longer. You may feel center of the glutes here. One more. And then bring yourself up. So we'll move on to one pose before we come down. Let's do the plank. The front body strengthener. We just did a lot of front body hip joint, especially if you were lifting that knee off the ground. Let's do plank here. So take your hands directly underneath your shoulders. Hands are spread, modify in whatever way you need. Take one foot back and bend the toes and push through the heel. So you feel the calf stretch, the back body stretching. And then bring yourself forward. Do the opposite side. Bending the toes, feel that stretch in the calf. And then let's come into plank. So if you're going to do the modification, you want to walk your hands forward. Let your whole body weight go forward and then protect your low back by activating your core. Or you're going to bring your feet back. Knees are off the floor. Spreading your hands. And then adding a little challenge, why not, if you're able to, come into a three-legged plank by pushing through the heel. Push your hands into the floor. Stabilize your pelvis so that your pelvis doesn't dip. Really make sure you stabilize. So you could have a tray on the back of your body with champagne flutes, with mineral water, mint sprigs, and muddled raspberries. Take one more breath. Let's switch. Lifting the other leg off and really maintaining, noticing if there is a flopping happening here with your pelvis. Push away with your hands, really push all the fingers into the floor so it's not just the heel of the hand or the palm. Really disperse that weight. Put your foot down, really push through the feet, push through the hands, and then try to slide the hands to the feet and feet to the hands. Activate the deep flexors. Activate the pelvic floor, the core. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. Take a break. Take a break in between postures, especially if you demand a lot from your body. Close your eyes. Breathe all the way down to your pelvic floor. And then open your eyes. When we do yoga therapy for osteoporosis, we are either pulling or pushing on the bones or focusing on strengthening muscles that will then create stronger bones, because the bigger, heavier muscles, first of all, need bigger bones to support them, even in a resting state. But then in a movement state, if you have bigger muscles, you have a bigger pull or a bigger push in your bones. So that was a strengthening posture. A lot of front hip joint strength with plank and core and a lot of total body strengthening. Let's go down on the ground. The next few postures we'll do are going to pull on the bones. And we're actually going to pull on the pelvis. We're either going to pull on the pelvis at the bottom or the pelvis on the inside of the leg. So that if you do slip, trip, or fall, you have stronger bones and your body can receive that tension. So we're going to use the strap for this. Get your strap. Now, if you'd like, before you come down, you could have a loop at the end of your strap. This is a 10-foot strap. Most straps out there are 6 feet long. So if you do put a loop, you could actually put the loop at the end of the strap. But sometimes it's easier to loop your strap in this upright position as opposed to being on your back. And then if you practice often, which I think we should daily be doing something for our body, for our bones, for healthy aging, having your strap already in that position may be a good idea. So let's come on to our body. We're going to first do a Navasana boat pose because this actually is another way to strengthen the hip flexors. So right off the bat, we're strengthening hip flexors with the warm-up sequence of a lunge, and then we moved into the plank. Now we're going to do front of hips here with Navasana boat pose. It's also a core strengthener. So bring your feet here, bring your elbows out to the side. You're going to come, it's also a balance. We're balancing on the base of the spine. Lift your legs up. Activate your pelvic floor. It could be pearls, blueberries, egg, whatever the visual is for you. Bringing the zipper action into your body. And then if you're able to come off with your hands, come off with your hands, and then pull your knees to your chest to your knees. The gaze is forward. Zipper up, activate that pelvic floor, really lift up that pelvic floor, cinch in the waist, push the lower ribs back, with that core contraction, keeping your legs lifted, drawing your knees to your heart to your knees, strong hips, strong hip flexors, which is one of the quadriceps, which is why you feel your quads burning. Boat pose. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself down. We're going to come onto the side and come all the way down. So get yourself arranged here. Blanket is only under your head. Make sure it's not under the upper back. And then push your arms into the ground, push your head in, lift your rib cage away, slide your shoulder blades towards the spine. Nice alignment in the upper body. And then if you happen to be on the tighter side in your legs, you could fold your blanket in two. Elevating your head a little bit will help you get more tension in the low body without the upper body feeling the pull to move up towards the lower body. And then take your strap. Let's go with the left leg first. So you're going to draw the knee in, and I want you to touch the left toes. So do not lasso. Right, let's try to maintain the bending in the hip, the bending in the knee, so that you could cut your own toenails, put your own socks on, reach down and touch your toes, and then place the strap on the arch. Put the arch of the foot up towards the sky. Walk your hands up the strap so your arms are straight, not down here. You have more force if you're up here and your arms are straight. If straightening the right leg feels appropriate for you and your body, you could try that. That'll help to actually keep your pelvis a little bit more stable. And then pull down strongly. Feel the left buttock in the ground. And then push the left leg away. Try to not go beyond the left leg above your body. So this is not better. And you'll see in my right leg how my right knee flies away because it's actually tilting my pelvis. This joint here at the 90-90 is optimal. And so if you want to intensify that, if you have a pretty bendy body, pull down, feel that action of the pressure of the left buttock into the ground. Now let's enter this posture. Firm up the leg, push the leg away, and pull the leg back at the same time. Push it away from you and pull it back. And pull it down so you feel the pressure in the floor of your body. I want you to really feel this behind your hamstrings. And I'd love it if you felt it right where the round part of the tushy is. Pull down, feel the left buttock pushing into the floor, push the left buttock away strongly, and pull the left leg back at the same time. Create as much tension as you can handle at the back of your left leg. Pulling on the pelvis, push the pelvis into the floor, the edge of your pelvis. Don't let it fly up and tilting backwards. Pull down, push away, take one more breath, and then release. That's how you do Supta Padangusthasana, supine big toe pose for osteoporosis. This is technically a forward fold. And so we are not supposed to forward fold with osteoporosis, but we are supposed to do it at the pelvis, at the hip, not in the spine. So this is technically a forward fold, and our spine is safe on the ground here, which is why we are doing these. Now, take the strap in the left hand. We're going to go into, we were just pulling on the back of the pelvis. Let's pull on the inside of the pelvis. Stretching the adductor, the inner thigh muscles. You're going to take your hand on the strap. The elbow goes to the side. You slide your hand down. You want to keep your leg high. So when your leg goes out to the side, it has to stay here and not go forward at all towards your feet. Okay, so keep the leg up. You can put the block by your leg if you're not able to get your leg to go that far. So depending on, if you don't have a lot of flexibility, you may need a block here for your leg to rest on when you come out. So if that's you, get a block to rest on. Let me actually put that there for those of you that need that, okay? And the farther away from your body if you're pretty bendy. So let's keep the leg high and let's lengthen into this. Don't just let it fall into it. Lengthen, push into the arch part of the strap. We are stretching the inner thigh muscles, pulling on the pelvis. Push the right buttock onto the ground. Zipper up your core to stabilize your pelvis. Push your right leg into the ground. Left leg up towards the wall behind you. Push into the arch part of the strap. Lengthen that left leg away from you. Push the right leg down. You could use your right hand to push onto the pelvis. Activate, zipper up your core. Feel that stretch on the inner thigh of the left leg. The block is there for if you need it to help manage the weight of your leg, depending on the flexibility you have in your body. Wherever you are today is perfect. Whatever range of motion you have is the range of motion you have. Feel the stretch in your body. This not only stretches the adductors, there's also some pelvic pulling that's taking place because we force our body to go into a stabilization of the pelvis when the leg is out to the side like this. Take one more breath and then bring yourself back up to neutral. We're going to go to the other side. So I'm going to move my props to face forward. So coming to the other side, now it's the right foot. So you're going to draw the right foot in. You're going to take the strap on the arch. You want to make sure that you're in a neutral pelvis here, so you're not pulling your leg back like this because that just tilts your pelvis back. Straighten the left leg if it's appropriate. Take your hands all the way up the strap. So the hands are all the way up the strap to get more tension in your leg. Then you're going to push the leg away with force, push the left leg into the floor, push the right leg away, and let's enter the posture, pulling the leg back towards the wall behind you. Push the leg into the floor, pull the leg back. Pull down so you feel a strong sensation of the buttocks in the ground, and you're pushing the leg away, pulling the leg back. Push down, pull away. Take one more breath. And then release. The tension should be felt right here. We're pulling on the pelvis. Now we're going to pull on the inside of the pelvis. So bring the block to the side, closer to your body and higher if you need it, lower and farther away if you're pretty bendy. You decide. Take your hand in the strap, slide your hand away, keep your left leg pressing into the floor or left foot, right leg stays high, and then actively entering the posture. Push into the arch part of the strap as you lengthen your leg to the side and high. Keep stabilizing your pelvis when you come into this. Activate your core, zipper up, keep that left tushy cheek touching the floor, heart up towards the sky. Push into the arch part of the strap, and the leg is moving up towards the wall behind you. Push your heart up towards the sky, leg towards the wall behind you, and push into the arch. So don't collapse your foot into the pinky toe edge. Push the arch in to really lengthen the inner thigh. That's the part of the body we're stretching here. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up and out. Bring the strap onto your belly for a second. You could come into a fully outstretched position or bend the knees, come into happy baby, knees to chest, whatever feels best for your body. And then bend your knees. We'll do one more of those. So we did big toe 1 and then big toe 2, or Supta Padangusthasana 1, Supta Padangusthasana 2. Let's now come into both legs together, pulling on the pelvis, pulling on the muscles of the back of the legs. Draw the feet in and put the strap on the arches of your feet. Bring your feet into the air and have your feet be about 12 inches apart, so they're not touching. And then push into the sides of your strap. You could hold on, arms are straight. Keep your arms pretty high here. Push your pelvis into the floor and then draw the legs back to enter this posture. So create as much uncomfortable tension that you can at the back of your body as you pull on your pelvis with the hamstring muscles. Keep your pelvis on the ground. Don't let your tushy rock up away from the ground. push the arches of the feet into the floor, and push your heels up towards the sky. So it's not just the toes that are pushing up, push the heels up. This will be in the back of the legs, pulling on that whole posterior or back side of your body, pulling on bones to create stronger bones. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bend your knees. Put your strap on the side. Draw your knees to your chest. And put your feet on the floor. So we're going to use the loop of the strap to do the bridge pose. And actually, we're going to use the loop of the strap and we're going to use the block too if you have a block. So take your strap, take the loop of your strap, and if you don't have a loop, then tie it. It's not very wide. The strap should only be about this big or a little bigger. It's not too wide. Bring your feet through the strap and bring the strap right at the top of the thighs so that you can put a fist in between your legs. So they're pretty close together. And then when you push out on the strap, you'll feel this tension on the side of the hips. So this is going to allow you to get more bend in your spine, lift your pelvis higher, and when you push out on the strap, you're putting a lot of forces into the side hip, the lateral hip, so strengthening the side of your hip. We're going to come off of the block to do this bridge pose. So we need nothing behind our heads. You're going to walk your feet closer to your body. Push your arms into the ground. Lift your rib cage up to slide the shoulder blades towards each other. Come onto your tippy toes. Lift your pelvis up and put your pelvis on your block. And then bring your arms alongside your body. Lift your rib cage up. Slide the shoulder blades. Lift your head up and lengthen the back of the neck. So with the bridge, we want the weight to waterfall to the upper part of the body. So this right here is how you come into the beginning of bridge. If you're new to the practice or are not able to lift the pelvis very high, this helps to put that back bend in the thoracic spine that we want. Arms are alongside your body, heart is lifted. Walk your feet closer to your body, toes are forward. Push out on your strap, tilt your pelvis back, inhale. As you exhale, push your feet in, push out on the strap, squeeze your tushy to lift your pelvis away from the block. Now you lift it as far as it feels comfortable for you. You're going to use the shoulder blades at the back to push forward to bend the upper spine as much as you can. If you'd like, you could put the arms straight using the arms to press into the ground or keep them bent. Push away from the floor with your arms, your feet, and your tushy, and then push out on the strap to help keep everything stable. Push the back of the spine into itself. This is how you create that vertebral stimulation in the lower lumbar spine. So if you want a stronger spine, push the back of the spine into itself. Push your feet into the floor, push out on the strap, squeeze your tushy, push your arms into the floor to bend your upper spine. Push the back of the spine into itself to strengthen it. Take one more breath. To come down, you're going to lift up onto your tippy toes. Pull your pelvis away from your rib cage. So lengthen your torso. Start to put the upper spine down on the ground and tilt your pelvis back. Then you'll feel the top of the pelvis hitting the block. Let the rest of the pelvis hit the block. Let the heels go to the ground. Take one breath. Then reach down, grab the block, take the block out to the side, and bring your pelvis back down onto the ground. Blanket behind your head, knees in, strap off, and bring the knees into your chest. And then come on to your side. From here, we're going to push up to a seated position. And then check in with yourself. That's 6 postures so far. A lot of pulling, a lot of pushing. So making sure that you're feeling appropriate. The other thing to pay attention to when you practice is you want to give as much energy as you have. You don't want to deplete yourself. So you want to create a lot of stress in the body to build muscles and bones, to build strong joints. And you want to make sure you modify and moderate the energy that you're putting into that, so you're not tired for the rest of the day after a practice. So let's clear the space. We won't need the strap anymore, so that can go off to the side. And then the blanket will need to come onto the ground for your knees. Bring your block onto its highest level, so when you bend down to get it, you won't have to go too far. Coming onto your knees, keeping this calibration, letting the blood calibrate here. And then bring a foot forward. Flip the back toes under. Take your hands pretty high on your leg, near where the leg attaches. Bring your body forward, push the front heel into the floor, push the back toes into the floor, and see if you can unload from your joints slowly. And then bring yourself forward, noticing how you feel in your legs, how you feel in your body. Then you're going to clear your space. So I love to practice near a wall because it helps to, I can go deeper in the postures, which means I can get a lot more pulling in the joints. So if you are able to do a wall, and or the back of a sofa can be nice to do as well. So that can be a good thing to do as well. So let's come into a mountain, a stacked joint aligned position. Aligning the joints here. So this may seem like it's not a lot, yet this is a way for you to feel that alignment in your body, which is critical to bone health. Because when you are in perfect alignment, you could create stronger forces for bone growth. And if you're out of alignment, that's what contributes to bone breakdown. So that's going to contribute to arthritis and the degeneration of bones. So push the soles of the feet into the floor, bring the hands down alongside your body. Push all 5 toes on both feet into the floor. Push the pinky toe edges, make sure all parts are touching. Push the heels, the center and the sides of the heels, and then feel like you're ripping the floor apart. You'll feel that activation coming into your hip area, the pelvic area. Then push the top thigh bones back, squeeze the tushy, and draw the tailbone down towards the ground. That's going to tilt your pelvis into a neutral. You'll feel that in your body. And then activating the core, the pelvic floor, pearls, blueberries, egg, whatever works, zippering up like tight pair of jeans. Get taller in your torso, reach down with your hands, back with your hands. Chin parallel, push your head back. Feel the activation of the back of the body holding you up. Push your thighs back, push your feet down. Rip the floor apart, squeeze the buttocks, pull the buttocks down. So real focus on alignment in your body. Take one more breath. From here, moving into our first hip joint pressing type stimulation. So push your body weight over to your weaker side if you know you have one, and then bend your opposite toes, the knee out to the side, and bring the foot up in between the ankle and the knee. This is tree posture. You can bring your arms into whatever position feels appropriate for you. Push the top thigh back, grab the floor with the foot you're standing on. Activate your glute on the standing leg side, drawing the tailbone down, using the hands either down alongside your body or pushing back. And then find a focal point, something that you could stare at that doesn't move, that you can hone in this balanced focus to bring all your balanced awareness to this one precise point right in front of you.
Take another breath. And then bring yourself out gently. That was 1 minute. Let's go to the other side and do that same thing. Find your alignment first. Toes, pinky toe edge, heels, rip the floor apart. Top thighs back, activate the glutes, pull the tailbone down. Activate your core, lengthen your body. Push your body weight to the other side, bend the knee. Toes to the side, bring the foot up on the opposite leg. And then here, any hand position that feels appropriate. Once you get in, find that gaze right away, that focal point. What's going to keep you stable here? That one precise dot on the wall in front of you or something you could hone in on. Because visual plays a major role in balance. And then grab the floor with that foot, activate that standing glute, contract the core, let the back of the body help you here, and focus on your gaze. Last breath. And then bring yourself out and down. And then take out that tension. So single leg balance, putting a lot of pressure on that standing leg, demanding a lot from that hip to stabilize you to find that balance. So that was compressive force. Let's move into triangle, which does compressive force in the hip joint, but also is pulling on a lot of other areas, especially a lot of muscles that attach to your pelvis. So a chair if you need that, a wall is great, or a block. Let's come from the mountain to a wide stance. The wider the better, coming in and pulling and pushing in different parts of your hip joint. Put your heel into the floor, lift your toes, move your front foot away, and then the back heel away. So we keep the legs straight in triangle. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Take the front hand on your leg. And as you inhale, keep the front arm straight. Keep your tushy and your torso on top of each other. Don't let your tushy go back and your torso go forward. Only bend in the hip joint to where your body can. Keeping the front leg straight. Coming down into the triangle. If you're able to come down into a block without your tushy going back, try that. Rip the floor apart, squeeze the buttocks, point the tailbone down to the back inner edge of the back leg heel, and then reach up with your arm and then try to rotate your heart forward up towards the sky. So some lumbar spine stimulation, pelvic bone pulling here, pressing that front leg into the hip socket to create a stronger pelvis, a stronger hip, stronger femur neck, all the things we want and need. Rip the floor apart for stability. Take one more breath. Keep your legs straight as you bring yourself back up and bring yourself out, or go to the other side. Move your props if you have a chair or a block. Do that. And bring yourself into Tadasana, mountain pose. From here into wide leg stance. So even setting up that alignment before you begin. Coming from the mountain aligned, coming into that wide stance. Front leg is straight, toes point away, back heel is away. Straight legs here. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Front hand on that leg, back hand is up. Exhale. Inhale, slide the hand down the leg. Bring yourself down into whatever is an appropriate place for you to be. Chair or block, wall if you need. Rip the floor apart. Contract the glutes, pull the tailbone down to that back inner edge of the heel. Arm is up towards the sky, and then try to rotate your heart up towards the sky in triangle. Take one more breath. Rip the floor apart to bring yourself back up, and then bringing yourself back to the Tadasana where we began. We're going to come into Warrior Two. I'm going to do it near the wall because now I have the opportunity to strengthen the side of my hip by using that bent front leg to push and to hold the block against the wall. So coming from Tadasana into wide leg, and then the front foot is going forward. This is where you would put the block. So make sure that your position against the wall is such that you could push that block into the wall if you're doing this with the wall. Back heel is back. The front knee is going to be bent, so take your back hand on the back leg, and then you're going to inhale to bend deep. The more to a 90-degree you come, the more forces you're putting in that front leg. Rip the floor apart, bring your arms up. This is Warrior Two. Rip the floor apart. Push that block into the wall if you're near a wall, or keep pushing that front knee back as if you were against a wall holding a block. Now we're strengthening our posture as well, shoulder blades towards each other. Push the shoulders away from the ears, rip the floor apart. If you are at the wall, push your pinkies into the wall. That'll help with the alignment. Push that front knee, push the hands. Take one more breath. Bringing yourself out, you could take that block away, bring your legs up, stay in this wide leg stance. You can come into the other side easily from this position, or come back to the mountain if you need to rest in between. Toes are forward, front foot is away from you, back heel away. So beginning by putting a little bend in that leg and putting the block up against the wall. Back hand on the back thigh, exhale. And as you inhale, bend the front leg, bring the arms up into the Warrior Two. Push the block into the wall. Really activating the side. You'll feel the glutes, you'll feel the side of your hips, pushing your arms into the wall if you can, bending as deep as you can in that front leg, ripping the floor apart. And then feel the power. Use breath to stay here and to help you stay here. The harder postures, you need to use the breath a little more. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. Shoulder blades are sliding towards each other. Push the block into the wall if you're doing that. Take one more breath. And then reach down to get that block. Bring yourself up. Bring yourself out into Tadasana. One more standing posture before we go down to finish the practice today. Block between the legs. We're going to come into chair. We have that opportunity to come into that deep flexion and to strengthen all the support that facilitates the proper bending that we should be doing with osteoporosis or as we age for our bones. Shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Squeeze the block. Exhale. And as you inhale, push your tushy back. Bend your hips deeply. Bring your hands up. Squeeze the buttocks and pull the tailbone down. Mouth closed. Breathe in and out through your nose. The breath is power. Squeezing the legs together, strengthening the adductors, strengthening the pelvis, the legs, the hips. A little deeper if you can. Take one more breath and then bring yourself up. Take your props off to the side. Whew. Go ahead, let's do a whoosh to get rid of any tension. Take your hands, grab into the air, just one whoosh, long SH at the end. Hold on,
Hold on really tight to all the tension that was created today and release it. We're going to come down onto the ground and do the Shavasana. So legs up the wall is a nice way to end, or come into a traditional Shavasana, whatever feels appropriate for you today in your practice. Whatever you decide to do, it's your practice. If you do the wall, the goal is not to have your tushy touch the wall, but to be fairly close to the wall. So come down. Don't get caught up in what you think something should or shouldn't be. Do whatever feels right for your body. Legs elevated can help to relax. You can also end up in the supported bridge posture that we began in. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, your ankles and your wrists. your knees and your elbows. Draw your knees into your chest. Rock to the side. And then gently push yourself away from the floor. Coming up to a seated position. Bring yourself into a seated position. Try to keep your eyes closed if you're able to. Bring your hands together, pressing your hands to your heart to your hands. Sit nice and tall in your body. We're going to close with sound, humming, vibrating, letting settling occur. So bring your awareness down to your pelvis and down to your hips, down to any place that you feel tension that was created in today's practice. We stress our bones out, and that's what makes them stronger. So let's let our humming settle what needs to be settled in the body, wherever that stress was created. Take a big exhale. Inhale all the way down to your hips and your pelvis. Hands to the forehead, bowing forward in gratitude for this last hour plus of stimulation to our body, our bones, healthy, strong bones, fracture-proof bones, healthy aging, healthier, happier, better quality of life. Namaste. So today we practiced 12 postures, all targeting or focusing on the hips and the pelvis. Notice after the practice, was it too much? Was it just right? We want just right. We can do too much in a practice and deplete our energy. So making sure that you give as much as you can and should, maybe slightly a little bit more. In terms of soreness for a day or two afterwards is appropriate. Anything that extends beyond that means you're asking for a little too much from your body. So modify according to what your needs are, wherever you are in your life right now, age-wise or ability-wise, but also on a day-by-day basis. All right, so I'd love to hear from you. Jean, so nice to have you back. A couple of announcements. I'm starting a membership online community, Stronger Bones Lifestyle. Some of you in here are on my founding members board. If anyone else wants to join me, so it will be a paid membership. And right now, anyone that wants to come in, that wants to be involved, ask questions, share information, then you will have access to have that free for life. Hope I'm okay to say that in this channel because this will be a recorded class, yet it won't be a very large fee. But my goal is to share the mission that osteoporosis is reversible, bone loss is reversible. And I plan to have live speakers every month and myself host live workshops on different topics, whether that's food, nutrition, gut health, yoga therapy, stress management, all the different aspects that are important for healthy aging and healthy bones. So reach out to me if you want to be a part of that community in some way. If you're doing this now, then you'll be in the beginning of the build-up. If you're doing it in the future, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's when that amazing Stronger Bones Lifestyle community began. That's my email. Email me if you want to come on. Some of you are in there. Nicole, thank you. Beth, you're welcome. Carolyn, yes, great. So nice to see you. She's way challenging. I love the water symbol. Kathy, so great to have you here. Nicole, yeah. And Nicole, thanks for being active. And Mary, if you're still here, yeah, you are. Thank you. I have a lot to do. I've got a lot going on, and it is my mission. I mean, the other day, one of the things I did is I posted in that group, do you want to ask a doctor anything about nutrition? Because I was interviewing a doctor that day on oxalates, which is such a hot topic for us. And that podcast will be aired on Tuesday, May, let me see if I can get this right, 29th, 2024. And we talk about oxalates and we talk about how dairy is terrible for bones, gluten terrible for bones, sugar, alcohol, and caffeine. So make sure you listen to that. It's with an MD perspective. She's a vegan. She really is a very
informed doctor. And really what I think a lot of us ladies are looking for are these kinds of minds in the medical space, right? That functional, preventative, what can I do for my bones? And then go to the doctor for the things that we really need it for. But just what can we do to be the strongest, healthiest versions of ourselves? Because we can. Jean, so good to have you back. Mary, great. Yeah, so great. Vitamin G. Yes, Mary, vitamin G every day, all day, right? Gratitude. How lucky are we, ladies, that we have this information? I study this. I share what I study. I share what I do for my own body. I had my REMS in London in May of 2024. Oh, April of 2024. And he said, look. I said, what? He goes, it's good news. I said, what? He goes, you've got tough bones. I already knew I had tough bones. I didn't really need the ultrasound to tell me that, though, because I do so much for them. And it was nice to get that reassurance. So every day, all day, do something. We did 12 postures today. Terry, great. Yes, good. Terry, yeah, I can't wait for you guys to hear that. Oxalates, don't worry about oxalates. Worry about your gut. You have to have a healthy gut to manage oxalates. And most of the oxalate foods are the foods that build strong bones. So if you stop eating those foods, then you're not feeding your bones. And if you don't feed them, how can they grow? Even if you do what we just did today, you need the food there too. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Bali, October 31st to November 9th. Would love to have some of you join me on that. Stronger Bones Lifestyle Community membership will be here soon. And my next Healthy Gut, Healthy Bones program, if you want to be in a group program to learn the lifestyle, which many of you here have been in that program, the next one is starting in 2 weeks. And if you want to run functional labs, that's a great way for you to find out what's going on inside of your body with your bones. Awesome poops. I think you meant poops, right? You didn't mean peeps, you meant poops. Both. Peeps and poops. Yes, today I was thinking about that, about bowel movements. I've been really upping my fiber intake and having more substantial elimination. And I was just thinking about how great it is. Not only do I have the nutrients from all the fiber-rich foods, but then I have the dump truck from that high fiber that takes the junk out of my body that is not good for any parts of my body, bones, hormones, aging. Yeah, you meant poops, right? All right. Like if you like this, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Subscribe to my newsletter if you don't get my newsletter. I put it out 2 times a week. Listen to Stronger Bones Lifestyle podcast for a lot of great speakers. This past week was on plant-based nutrition. Next week is on, again, more plant-based nutrition. Because guess where the bone building foods are, ladies and men if you're here, mostly ladies. They're in your vegetables and your beans and your nuts and your seeds. And if you're not eating them, you're not getting the nutrition for your bones. They're not in dairy because dairy is causing too many other negative things. And they're in some animal products. Yeah, there's bone building, but we need the cofactors that are important for creating stronger bones. All right. Any more questions before I go? You can see I'm having fun today. While you have me here, any burning questions, any topics you want me to seek out when it comes to speakers? Or are there any people that you would love to hear from and have me reach out to them to interview them on my Stronger Bones Lifestyle podcast? And if you haven't listened to my podcast, please do so. And please rate it. For those of you that do, there's a rating scale. I'd love for you to rate my podcast and share it if you have friends that would benefit from this information. Okay. Oh, yeah. I would love to interview him, Kathy. I'm going to reach out to Dr. Davis. Sometimes when people get really big, they have a retainer for that. So, and I'll be actually talking to a lot of physicians tomorrow. I'm part of a big REMS Zoom group tomorrow with all the top players, all the orthopedic surgeons. So I'm going to try to get some of them to get on with me as well, because we'd like to hear from them. They're leading the charge in changing the way we diagnose osteoporosis from an X-ray DEXA, which is from the 1990s or 80s. It's a 40-year-old technology, to the new modern ultrasound to look at really the quality and toughness of your bones. That is what we really want and need. All right, I'm off. Email me if you have any questions. And if you want to join me as a founding member in my Stronger Bones Lifestyle community, or if this is past the date of that, join us in there. All right, thanks. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.